Life is a team sport.
Mm. You don't want to be the
Who do
I
you
don't know
think?
the
Who do you
well.
think was in the right? Be honest in that argument.
I think your intentions are genuine, and that's what makes you relatable. Genuine. You're
Yeah,
talking. What you're saying makes sense in your community, village, country. So when someone's talking like that, that's like the most powerful speakers. But I do think that then there are elements of manipulation. For example, the House of Commons, they're not rarely discussing the Ukraine situation as much because they're dealing with Charles' ascension to the throne, which has got budgeting restraints and it's also limits how detailed the divisions between all of the parties can be at the moment. As soon as that crown goes on
yeah,
his head, I do they can start throwing mud at each other because he will then have
yeah.
a strong authority, for example, and the House of Commons that they want him there, they want him to run the government. They're happy, they like him, they like his wife, they like his kids. So once that goes by, but he's old now, and the sad thing is, William's budget is probably going to be, let's say Charles's budget for this party next month is about 75 billion. William's might be 80 billion. Yeah. So that's coming
Yeah.
from our council tax. That's coming from our interest rates on our savings in our Halifax, Barclays account. But this has been going on since before I was born. This whole savings for this event has been going on. And then when I was born, obviously I've contributed to it. But the next generation, they're going to be paying for George and William's coronations. And if Charles dies quickly, it's going to make the economy go a bit unstable because they've got secret money for the royal family that they use, but they tend to use a lot of taxpayers' money rather than their own. You know what I mean? So it's just complicated.
Yeah.
Have you read the book Spear by Prince Harry?
What?
Have you looked at that book that Prince Harry wrote called Spear?
No, I have not.
No. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to get the audio book at some point because it looks like it's causing a bit of maybe he's just paying tribute to his mother. Maybe that's what it is. Brennan, how you doing? Brennan XXX. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you
Can
guys
you
hear me
hear?
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Yeah,
All right, let me ask
I'm
you
trying
guys,
to.
how do you guys feel about the Trump indictment?
I'm
terrible.
not educated. I'm not the best educated on American politics. I can try to go along with your conversation, but I'm not the best person to
I
talk
was
to
I was
about the
hoping you were
Senate
really
and stuff.
informed because I also am not super informed, so I was hoping to hear some people talk about it. But from my understanding, he got charged for something with
Paying.
Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it was like $130,000, something like that.
Well,
I'm not really educated on the indictment. I do know a few stuff, but yeah.
With campaign money. It's like whenever you run for public office, anybody can run for public office. Like either of us three in this chat, if we can raise, I think it's like $90,000 or pounds, that's what you need to enter the election race. But that £90,000 you raise will pay for your posters, but there'll be a maximum budget for your posters, a maximum budget for your social media and stuff like that, and a maximum word count on your things. So everybody's using exactly the same word count images. So when you go for a vote, it's not unequal. What you don't do is spend the election campaign money on too much champagne. You might have a little bit of champagne for the publicity photo shoots and models for your publicity photo shoots, but you're not supposed to purchase the model before the photo shoot or before the champagne's poured at the photo shoot.
it just
If
seems a
you're
little weird
purchasing the
because
model,
I feel like on the one hand, probably a lot of little stuff like that happens, and probably Trump maybe even did less of it than other people because, from my understanding, the a lot of the money for his campaign was his own personal money. So
E.
I
Yeah,
feel like they're
he
just trying to
paid-
get him with whatever. It's kind of like a character assassination. Like they're just trying to get whatever they can on him, and this is just like something that's
Yeah.
gonna stick a little bit.
That's
I
why-
I feel
think
like
I
as we
don't
go
like the
into the
indictment.
election cycle of 2024, we're just gonna see all kinds of big stuff happen. Basically,
my personal
I don't like
opinion
it.
of
It's stupid.
my personal quick opinion, because I would love to hear everyone speak. At like, I know the other guy is talking, and I want to hear. He's amazing. I want to hear him talk. But basically, my opinion is that Trump represented a bit of the Pentecostal voting, American Pentecostal background, which basically Pentecostal Christians, they're overwhelmingly maybe white, but that don't forget that there's like other groups, Mexicans, Blacks, Caribbean, and what that meant is that he was able to bring back a bit of back to basics. So he was trying to go back to basics. It was a bit too much. He didn't really. He stood. I think he stood against Epstein. Like he commented. Like he said things of disapproval about Epstein, Weinstein. He kind of didn't like those type of people. So I think something is like a little bit of a pushback from the power people, because they're supposed to have everybody's secrets. They're supposed to keep each other protected. He distanced himself a little bit from those weirdos, and I think that the weirdos are trying to fuck him up. That's how I read it, the situation.
yeah, it's kind of the swamp striking back, right?
Yeah.
Because he talked about draining the swamp and like taking on the establishment, which was basically both sides
Yeah.
of Congress, right? And
Yeah.
and surprise, surprise, they fought back.
Yeah.
One thing I say is
So-
that I think whether you like Trump or not, you can kind of admit that what he did was impressive, because being an outsider and coming on and like winning against the establishment, I mean, I feel like that's like an impressive feat, right? Like,
The way that he handled, and I'll get called a coon, a coconut all day long, but I'm experienced. That's the big difference. I can talk like how I talk because I've lived a very fucked up, crazy, good life. Yeah, but when I was young, I didn't have the authority to talk like this. Donald Trump, he under his watch, he get the officers of George Floyd trialed, prosecuted, like it's all done. There was not a slowed in the watch. Barack Obama, Trayvon Martin, he was on the porch of the White House like, oh sorry, but if the master gets beaten, then we are gonna get beaten too, and I'm just, I can't put the police on trial, but I can't do anything. But Trump came in like, yeah, whatever. I listen to hip hop, bitches, hoes, wet ass pussy. Yeah, them police officers, they're not my people. Next. You know what I'm saying? The switch in and out. Yeah, he said a few things that was tongue in cheek, but the process was followed. Are you fucked up in the police? All right, you got caught tomorrow. Go in. Yeah, you're going to prison next. So I feel like Trump doesn't get acknowledgement for his due process of like, yeah, he says fucked up things, but certain people that are so fucked up that try and think they can say, oh, they're a Trump person, they go to jail. You go to court and say Trump, they ain't gonna save you. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I mean,
why
is
I like
anything he
Trump.
said really worse than like what Bill Clinton did?
No, Bill Clinton was sexy. Bill Clinton broke the color barrier, and he was like, in white culture, you've got the white guy. You've got three types of white images in the media: the nerd, the jock, and then you've got like the businessman. Yeah, he came along and was like the iconic graphic baggy tuxedo wearing modern politician. I'ma wear my suit like Michael Jordan. I'ma play the saxophone. I'ma get head under the desk because I'm so fly and nobody can tell me shit because all the ladies love me. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really like, he was just all charisma. It was all like, yeah, look in my eyes. It was all, you know what I mean? It was just like, he was a good leader to a point, but a lot of it was like old America turning new. I can't explain it to you. He made politics sexier, revolutionized it, but didn't really do much. Just did enough to bring everybody together and say, you're an American, you're an American, and you're an American. It was like he acknowledged the public in a different way to Bush, the first, the older Bush. So, yeah, I mean, for American politics, every 4 years you get a vote, you try and get someone in. You know, DeSantis looks promising. I don't know if you get it, but it's just it's such a big country. I pray for Americans, man. Sometimes I do.
So I just got some news here. Ron DeSantis of Florida said that they will not help with the extradition of Donald Trump. So now you've got it's like a state versus federal situation.
They know that Donald Trump's in his 70s or 80s, and they know the pressure that they're putting on a man like that on his heart and his children, and it's like they're really trying to, in a sense, I guess I can call it Michael Jackson. They're trying to make him crumble from within, you know, make him reliant on his medications, his supplements, make him reliant on his doctors and stuff like that. Really try and beat him down. You know what I'm saying? Punish him. Like,
Oh yeah,
publicly humiliate and shame.
100%.
You know what I mean? So, I'm sorry, I don't like your government is different to the people. The people of America, I've got a warm heart for. Got a warm heart for the people of America. The good ones, the friendly ones, the chatty ones, the chatterboxes on holiday. I love them. The government, the ones in the suits, the ones that have the power, I don't like them. The bad ones especially. The bad ones more than anything. Yeah.
Where are you from?
Especially, I'm from the UK. I'm from London, the
Okay.
capital of the United Kingdom. Yeah, I live in England, London. Lived there my whole life.
I had a layover in Heathrow. That's it. But
Nice.
my family
Nice.
was
I'm
from.
a go, guys.
I'm mostly
Nice.
Irish
All right.
from like my ancestors, but like 10 or 15% British. So it goes back there.
I think I'd get along with you. I've got like probably 20% Irish in me because I'm from the Caribbean. But in the Caribbean, I'm from the only Irish Caribbean island that basically was when Oliver Cromwell was in power. A lot of the Irish elites and oligarchs went down to this island, and I'm still trying to do my research into the Creole community that I'm from. But I went to Dublin and I got the family crest. There's loads of Irish names in my family. There's not just one because that island, there's like 15 different Irish names on the island. But I just never. It took me over 20 years to realize that we were, because I just thought Irish people were white. And then I went on YouTube and I saw the president of Ireland doing a documentary on the island that I'm from. And I was just like, he knew he was going to be the president. Like, what the fuck was he doing on my island in the 80s making a documentary? And now he's the president of fucking, you know what I'm saying, Ireland, Republic of Ireland. I was like, that's nuts. I was like, oh my God, that might be my grandma in the video. I just was like, it proper hit me differently, man. Differently, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm closer connected to Ireland than you are, bro.
And at 18, and they probably shouldn't be living with a man before 18. So it's
No,
like,
I'm coming. As like I have to say something in this because like I see the point that what is it called Omni something is trying to make, and then I see your own point too. But I think the problem you guys are having, like what I think, because like I'm in Nigeria now. I have a like kind of like a traditional background, not like me personally, but like the way my country handle stuff. It works. An 18-year-old can actually get married. So as like
Had common history when it comes to Ottoman past, right, where they both fought and were ruled by Ottomans, and they both rebelled against the Ottomans.
Yeah, but certainly there was, of course, animosity from the Second Balkan War, was it? Which was the one that they all ganged up in Bulgaria?
Second Balkan War, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Greek history is crazy.
Yep.
What do you guys think about the Trump indictment?
Right.
Good, but still worrying.
So what exactly
Only
was he
what-
indicted for?
Hang on. New
It's
York-
complicated. I can explain. So he had an affair with Stormy Daniels, as I'm sure you know. So he wanted to cover this up to stop her talking about it. So he had his lawyer, I forget the guy's name. He had his lawyer pay off the owner of a big US tabloid company who paid her to buy her story so that she can talk about it. So she was paid off basically through the tabloid owner, through Trump's lawyer guy, and then Trump later paid off him and marked it as a legal fee. This is not a legal fee because this was during the campaign, so this would be counting as campaign finance. This was clearly to help him be elected by covering up this story. So this payment was to help with his campaign. But this isn't allowed for two ways. Firstly, he took a wrong record of it. He marked it down in his business expenses as a legal thing. He didn't register it as a campaign finance thing. So that's illegal. That's a business records fraud, and also campaign finance stuff for not declaring a campaign finance contribution. And then secondly, it was a lot of money and way more money than his lawyer guy could legally contribute to him as an individual as a campaign contribution. So that's the other angle of it, where it's also a crime. It was too big of a contribution. Yeah, that's it.
So
It's
it
a bit.
was too big
It's
of a
like very.
contribution, and it was the wrong kind of contribution, or it was recorded the wrong way.
Yeah, it was recorded as not a campaign, but it was just put down as a legal fee, which was blatantly not.
So what is like the negative impact of that?
In what sense? What do you mean by
Well,
negative
so like
impact?
if what they did was wrong, what was like the harm that was caused by it?
Well, it's the crime is not declaring correct campaign finances, and the harm. I mean, yeah, you can. I don't know what the arguments would be favor of why that should be illegal and stuff, but
It would probably come under transparency in government and
Yeah.
wanting to restrict corruption.
yeah, the records thing would the transparency stuff, because if you allow something like that, you could do all kinds of things through just putting money through different loopholes,
Okay.
just siphoning through third parties and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's why
I'm not
we-
like
it's
I'm
why-
definitely I'm not I'm not all that into politics or finance actually, but it doesn't sound like that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, it's not that serious. But it is a crime.
Compared to other things that Trump did, it's not that serious, but yeah.
Yeah, you could say Trump, but also probably there's all kinds of shady stuff going on in politics, right? Like, didn't Hillary Clinton have a lot of like shady money being given to her from like Saudi Arabia and like all these other countries?
Oh yes, quite a lot of well, all US candidates receive donations. It's kind of how American politics works. Many of them receive donations from two sources. Some of them may receive funding from Israel. Some of them may receive funding from Saudi Arabia. Some of them may receive funding from Russia.
But I'm guessing those Hillary contributions probably to the Clinton Foundation, not to Hillary Clinton, which is just a charity in their name. Like, she can't use that money to campaign. She can't just take that money as like her personal money. It belongs to the charity. A foreign
I
government
guess-
can't fund her campaign.
I guess Trump using a lot of his money in the campaign, that might have changed like the way people look at the way he's spending his money, right?
That plus also he can just do more things with it. So, for example, in the UK we have strict spending laws when it comes to elections, and also
It's amazing.
strict transparency laws when it comes to that election spending as well. So that way you can't just like steamroll your opposition with like checks in the bank.
Yeah, there's literally a maximum you can spend on a campaign, and I think everything over £100 has to be declared, and every single spending of the campaign has to be detailed. Limited advertising for your campaign as well, although social media needs far more regulation. It's not caught up. But yeah, Trump just he committed a crime by trying to hide it. Hiding it isn't the illegal thing, but the way he tried to hide it was illegal. If he just directly paid her through his own personal money,
It would have been completely legal.
it would have been completely legal. But he went through 2 different third parties to pay her off.
And decided to use what do you call it, banks to do it as well. Whereas if he had just done it through literal money in an envelope, it would have been legal. I'm sure.
Yep, completely legal. It's not illegal to pay someone to be quiet, as long as it wasn't a crime and you didn't commit.
As long as it wasn't a crime, because if it was a crime, then that would be very illegal.
Yes, but no, yeah, he.
So, what was the
It's
story?
very much
on stuff?
embarrassing. He met her, and I think he just had sex with her one time. But yeah,
Just had sex.
yeah.
Okay. Gives a shit.
Well, you'd expect the evangelicals to give a shit, but apparently they don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. Sorry, I'm too used to having a prime minister who has multiple affairs.
True. Yeah. I preferred it back in the day when our prime ministers just had sex with pigs.
I preferred it back in the days when prime ministers just fucks over brown people. Ah, Tony Blair. Love the days.
How do you guys feel about the what's going on in Ukraine?
Oh, Russia has Russia has sowed the wind; they'll reap the whirlwind.
Yeah, basically that.
I've heard some people express the argument that basically the West is antagonizing Russia and Russia's defending their global interests. What do you think about that?
No. We have a defensive alliance. Countries want to join a defensive alliance because Russia's been aggressive for years and years and years. If Russia just wasn't aggressive, NATO wouldn't even expand it so much. And NATO's not going to begin an attack against Russia. If Russia just sat there and was happy with itself, it would never face a problem with NATO. It's only facing issues with NATO because they keep attacking countries. From Georgia in 2008 to Ukraine now, and then threatening every other country around them.
And also let us not forget the Salisbury attack in 2017.
Poisoning people on the soil of NATO countries. Constantly doing subversive efforts in other countries to undermine our interests.
I think I heard that the majority of people in
Why doesn't Russia have a defensive alliance?
They have the CSTO, but it's shit.
Oh.
And no one wants to be in it. It's like 5 countries.
It's
and a bunch of countries left.
It's essentially a bunch of the Central Asian countries, although some of them have left. Armenia and Belarus.
Yeah.
You guys heard the term BRICS to refer to, Brazil, Russia,
India.
China, South America,
Yeah, but
South Africa.
Yeah, but they're not really necessarily a tight, close thing.
Yeah, they're just a
Aren't they
strategic
getting closer
partnership.
now, though? Like Russia and China, haven't they gotten closer recently?
No, if any. So they've got